Now at 6, concerned parents speak out about drivers not paying attention to school buses heading to and from school. Plus, looking to get away this weekend, experts say the roads and skies will be even busier with holiday travel, and businesses and housing programs in Newell, Missouri begin to feel the impact of the impending closure of the Tyson plant.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Just a week into the new school year, and some families already report drivers failing to follow rules of the road around school buses. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talked to people in one Joplin neighborhood about their safety concerns.
My son's favorite part of the day should not be taken away because other people cannot follow the law.
Every morning, Danielle helps her son board the school bus to start his day.
Issues with people passing our bus with the lights flashing, literally the lights going, my son going up the wheelchair ramp, and it's just the lack of caring.
Danielle requested the Joplin Police Department for assistance. She said they told her the department is too understaffed. However, she believes a police presence will help the issue.
Literally just drive by. I haven't even asked them to stop and patrol. I have not asked them to sit at the park. I have asked them simply to just have a patrolman just do a simple drive-by. It doesn't take that long. It's a 5-minute process. They won't even give us that.
Danielle is trying to spread awareness of the issue by posting on Facebook.
What is it going to take next? Someone else getting hit?
The dangers of the roads don't just stay on the asphalt, but it can also affect neighborhoods. The residents here say the quality of driver that's on the roads does affect their way of living.
Myself and my neighbor, who live very close to her, have about 16 children between us. That's not even including the other side of the road. It would be great if they could put up some more signs to try to slow people down or patrol the area more. That's what I would suggest.
Sometimes I wish somebody could sit over there and get some tickets going, because they're just not, even if they put speed bumps in, I don't think it will help.
And it's not going to stop until it's addressed, sadly.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Under Missouri law, illegally passing a school bus is a Class A misdemeanor. First-time offenders found guilty could have their license suspended for 90 days. A new law in Missouri is going to take a more hands-off approach to the way you drive. The citizens banning hands-free law goes into effect today. That new law prohibits handheld cell phone use while driving. And it's not just cell phones, it's any electronic communication device like pagers and tablets. There are specific exemptions in the law for drivers communicating in emergency situations, emergency first responders, and other emergency roadside workers and for-hire drivers. Penalties for a violation of the law will be enacted beginning January 1st, 2025 to allow adequate time for public education. Travelers gearing up for the holiday weekend can expect more traffic than last year. Experts say gas prices are unlikely to deter the late summer Great American Road Trip. That goes for travelers in the air as well. According to AAA booking data, flights, hotels, rental cars, and cruises are all up over 2022. INRIX, a global provider of transportation data and insights, expects this Thursday between 2 and 6 p.m. to be the busiest time on the road. Anyone flying over the holiday weekend should check airline schedule for delays or cancellations before leaving for the airport. Boy, a nice start to the work week. Let's check in with meteorologist Sam Lane.
Yes, a dramatic change from last week with all that heat. This morning we started out with lows in the 50s and lower 60s. A very pleasant morning, and this afternoon still pleasant with temperatures in the mid 80s for the most part, upper 80s out towards the west, but still overall a pretty nice day. Not a nice day down in the southeastern Gulf of Mexico or just off the east coast. Hurricane off the east coast of Florida right now is category 4, and that's Franklin. And then we're watching Idalia developing just west of Cuba, and the convection is starting to wrap around the center now, so it's dropping the surface pressure, and it looks like this may start to become more of a threat further down the western side of Florida. So we're going to have to watch it very, very closely. But in our area this evening, no hurricanes to deal with. Temperatures dropping through the 70s to about 61 degrees by tomorrow morning. And looking down the lane, we're going to have some cool nights and some warm afternoons, a dry week. And unfortunately, the heat wave may be coming back a little bit, and I'll tell you more about that in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. The Federal Trade Commission processed 2.4 million fraud reports in 2022 with an $8.8 billion price tag. According to the FTC, identity theft and imposter scams top the list. Imposter scams happen when someone pretends to be a trusted person to get you to either send them money or give them your personal information. When they get the details they need, that's when it goes south. Scammers don't just target the elderly. Officer Rhonda Andrews with the Baxter Springs Police Department says imposter scams like this are becoming all too common. According to the Federal Trade Commission, for every 5 imposter scam attempts, at least one person loses money.
I had a case the other day. It was an older woman. She's a grandmother, and they took several $1,000s from her, and it really affects them. That's her life savings. They don't work. Some of these people don't work anymore, and that's their retirement.
Officer Andrews and the Baxter PD will host a scam prevention class next Saturday, September 2nd, from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Baxter Springs City Hall. It's open for anyone to attend. Now, tonight at 10, our own Tanya Bach is going to sit down with a Southeast Kansas woman who recently fell victim to an imposter scam involving her bank card. Less than a month after Tyson announced the closing of the Knoll plant, local businesses and housing programs in the area are already feeling the impact. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has that story.
In almost 3 years running Bob's Hometown Pizza, Lynn Parrish is getting ready to face the second major crisis of her business.
We made it through COVID. We'll make it through this somehow.
She says about 80% of her clients are somehow related to Tyson. With the closing of the plant, she's sad to see some of them already leaving.
We've had several come in that they come in to eat one last time because they're already moving out of the city.
Bob's Hometown Pizza is not alone in seeing people go.
About 27% of the families that are impacted by the No Housing Authority program are Somalians who work at the Tyson plant. While the program is not going to be impacted financially, they will be impacted emotionally.
We are subsidized by the government, so technically financially it won't hurt us. We've grown, I've actually really grown to love our Somalian community, and it's going to be difficult for us.
According to No Housing Authority, out of the 27 Somalian families that are part of the program, 5 have already given notice that they're moving at the end of October. 2 are moving in January.
There's several that have come in and just kind of said, hey, I don't know if I'm moving yet or not. I'm trying to find a job locally, but if I have to, I'm also looking elsewhere.
Even with all the uncertainties that lie ahead, the local Chamber of Commerce is looking at the situation with optimism.
It gives the whole city of Knoll a whole opportunity to kind of reinvent what they are, what they do. Prepare to weather a storm. And storms don't last forever. It will get marginally a little bit worse, and maybe a lot worse for some businesses depending on what business you're in. But at the end of the day, if we can keep most of these people here with better paying jobs, that actually bodes well for their business in the long run.
Parrish shares a similar feeling.
It's gonna hurt for a while, but I think in the long run it'll be okay.
In Knoll, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The McDonald County Chamber is organizing another career fair for those looking for jobs. That's going to be on September 28th. Coming up, Pittsburgh welcomes some of the top names in pickleball to the Pickle in Pit event. Plus, KOAM's John Dale sits down with Kansas City play-by-play broadcaster Mitch Holtis to talk about the state of the Chiefs Nation. The U.S. Department of Agriculture plans to make a sizable investment in the sunflower state. The USDA is investing $49.1 million to help rural utilities build and improve clean drinking water and sanitary wastewater systems in rural Kansas. Some of those grants and loans are going to go to Neosho County and the cities of Girard and Humboldt for various projects, such as construction of a new booster pump, water system refurbishment, and replacement of miles of mains and improvements to a supply intake system. Top-ranked pickleball players from all around the world descended on Pittsburgh today. The Pickle in Pit event includes Play with the Pros games, a pickleball clinic, an exhibition match, and signed autographs for some of the top-ranked pickleball players on the planet. Proceeds from this fundraising event will go to maintenance and enhancements to the Jack Johnson courts and new pickleball programs at the Four Oaks Sports Complex in Lincoln Park. A little bit later, the MSSU Lions get ready for their season opener at home against Northwest Missouri State.
And it's certainly feeling more like football weather out there. How long is it going to last? Well, we'll have the answer when we come back. Well, friends, what a change from last week to this week with temperatures and also dew points, making it feel a lot more comfortable, including this morning with lows in the 50s across the area. Let's start out this morning at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort in Seneca, Missouri. You can see mostly fair skies, and then the clouds kind of moved in mid-morning, and then the sun poked through those, and we had cumulus clouds this afternoon. Now we have some high thin cirrus starting to move in from the west. A beautiful evening shaping up across the area. We made it up to 85 today, which was 3 degrees away from the average, so we were below normal. That's kind of nice. Also, look at the low, 57 this morning, and of course that was way below the average low of 66 degrees. Rainfall not to be found anywhere in the area right now, and it's going to stay that way for several days. Instead, our weather attention is going to be turning down to the Gulf of Mexico with Idalia starting to move towards the north. And Idalia is going to be a major hurricane. Unfortunately, as this moves towards the north, it's going to be going across extremely warm water in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. It's expected to intensify and continue to intensify as it makes landfall. That is the worst kind of landfalling hurricane you can have. And with Tampa being to the right of the path, the storm surge is going to be very high on the right-hand side. So everywhere from basically Fort Pierce northward all the way up to the Big Bend of Florida is going to be impacted by that hurricane. So hopefully those folks are battening down the hatches. Temperatures right now in our area are very nice. 81 in Monette, 84 in Stockton, same thing in Carthage, 86 in Neodesha, and 87 warmer degrees in Sedan as well as Independence, but still very nice. And here's the reason why it's so nice. Look at these dew points. Upper 50s and lower 60s. That is a dramatic change from the upper 70s and lower 80s we had last week. And so it's making it feel very, very comfortable out there. And on the dew point tracker, you can see refreshing to pleasant out there in some places. Rain chances are going to be low for the next 36 hours and really all this week. Instead, we're going to be dealing with this ridge of high pressure that caused all the heat last week. It's going to be trying to come back across our area, and by this weekend, it's going to be parking itself right again over our area. But there is a weakness in the ridge, and that means that it may not get as hot as what it was last week, and that's certainly an improvement. And look at these lows tonight in the 50s and 60s across the area with light and variable winds. And then tomorrow, another Chamber of Commerce type weather day with temperatures in the mid 80s, upper 80s, and lower 90s, especially in southeastern Kansas. Then as we go into Wednesday morning, still very comfortable, lows in the 60s. And then Wednesday afternoon, we're expecting a little bit nicer with temperatures in the mid 80s across the area. And then look at Thursday morning. We go back down into the upper 50s for lows on Thursday morning and even a few lower 60s. Over the next 7 days, we have dry weather all the way until next Tuesday. That's when the next chance of showers starts to move into our area. But notice those temperatures, though, creeping back up into the mid 90s. But I don't think the dew points are going to be as high this time. And so as a result, at least it will be a little more comfortable out there, Dal.
That makes a huge difference, the humidity combined with the heat. Although it would be nice if we could get some rain this week.
Yes, we definitely need some rainfall, certainly, hopefully before fall.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, high school softball season gets started in the 4 states, and Missouri Southern football takes the podium ahead of this Thursday's season opening game. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Theater. Week 1 of the college football season is here, and Missouri Southern begins its 2023 campaign at home on Thursday night. And the Lions feel more confident heading into 2023 than the past couple years.
There's definitely an energy, there's a buzz. It's a different energy that's been here in the past 2 seasons. I can remember my first season, just for me personally, the energy was like, okay, do we have chains? Do we have socks? You know what I mean? They were just making sure we had everything. And then last year there was a nervousness, just, hey, we've gotten better, but how much better? Whereas this year there's the same energy But it's just guys are excited, guys are confident.
Our guys are ready to roll. I mean, just seeing it on the field and what they can be able to do, like they brought in the energy every time during the practice, and you can just see that differences. And that's something that we've been trying to preach like every day, day in and day out.
That game's at home on Thursday evening against the number 6 team in the country, Northwest Missouri State. Now, not counting the one-game COVID season in 2021, the Lions haven't won a true season opener since 2013. Plenty of local sports happening in the 4 states today as well. High school softball season in Missouri just got started over the weekend. Several schools in action today. Starting first with the matchup between Webb City and Nevada. Tigers went 3-1 on Friday and Saturday in the Morrisville tournament, losing only to Summit Christian. Cardinals 2-0 after winners over Quapaw and McDonald County on Saturday. Not the only game in the area happening though. 3-1 Carl Junction plays its first home game of the season against Cassville. The Wildcats went 1-2 in that same tournament Nevada played in at Morrisville. We'll have highlights from both those games tonight at 10. And the Chiefs are another day closer to defending their Super Bowl title. This morning I had a chance to sit down with Kansas City play-by-play broadcaster Mitch Holtis to talk all things Chiefs.
It's one of the understated stories of the run to the Super Bowl 57 championship was blessing in disguise when Nags got fired by Chicago. Because he was able to come back. Mike Kafka had left to go be the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants, and Nags and Patrick Mahomes have an incredible relationship. That with Andy Reid and David Girardi, who was at Northwestern on their staff with Kafka. But I think people saw it on the Netflix quarterback series. Patrick Mahomes is an astronaut surrounded by NASA scientists. And one of those NASA scientists is Matt Nagy. They're very close, and it works.
And finally, the Cardinals playing at home this evening against the Padres. Cards 2-8 in their last 10 games, looking for a turnaround. First pitch in that one at 6:45. And that's all for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have more from area law enforcement on the rise in imposter scams in the area. Plus, pandemic impacted learning at schools nationwide. We're going to see whether government funding has helped. And economists predict the housing market might be at a standstill for a while. Those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. When severe weather strikes, you're going to want to stay informed, and you can do that by scanning this QR code. You can do it right now. It'll take you to the KOAM News Now YouTube page, where our weather team will live stream during severe weather events to give you updated information whenever you need it. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Certainly no severe weather on the horizon.
No weather really at all, except nice weather, which I don't think anyone's complaining about, but we do need some rainfall. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen until like the early part of next week. But we are going to begin a slow warm up with temperatures in the mid-90s, which is kind of normal for this time of year. But the main thing is the dew points. As long as the dew points stay low, at least I think we can bear it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel nearly as hot when it's not humid. And also those overnight lows. Look
Oh
at that.
yeah, very nice. Open up the windows, especially on Thursday morning with a low of 58. Can't beat that.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.